Princess Kasia Gallanio was the third wife of billionaire Abdel Aziz Al Thani, the uncle of the current ruler of Qatar. After 8 years of fairy tale living, the prince made her life a living hell. The woman had been in a legal battle with her ex-husband for custody of their children for over 15 years. Her life became a series of endless ordeals, and then a shocking tragedy struck. What happened to her? Why did a rich life turn out to be so miserable? Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Kasia Gallanio was born in Krakow, Poland in 1976. As a child, she moved with her parents to the United States, grew up, and was educated in Los Angeles. There, her typically Polish name Kasia, which is a diminutive of Katarzyna, evolved into a more refined Kasia version. In her youth, she worked as a model. The tall, bright girl enjoyed great success with men and was sure that she was destined to live a special life. At the age of 19, Kasia was a university student and she went to Paris during her vacation. There she had a fateful meeting with a prince who was almost 30 years older than her. The Oriental handsome Abdel Aziz bin Khalifa Al Thani turned the girl's head. His fortune was no less impressive than his high-profile name. The representative man came from the royal dynasty of Qatar. He has lived in exile in France since 1992. Abdel Aziz, the uncle of the current emir of Qatar, was accused of attempting to organize a coup d'état, dismissed from the post of Minister of Oil and Finance, and sent far away from his homeland. However, he was not excluded from the royal family and was not deprived of titles and a huge fortune. The romance of the Polish beauty and the Arab prince developed rapidly. Abdel Aziz soon enough proposed to Kasia. She dropped out of university, agreed to accept Islam, and became the third wife of Prince Al Thani. A year after the wedding, they had twin girls Yasmin and Malak, and 2 years later they had a daughter Reem. And then something went wrong. Although Kasia lived in luxury, she did not feel free. She lacked her husband's attention because he had 2 other wives and 12 children. Conflicts between the spouses began to arise frequently. Perhaps the considerable difference in age and interests began to be felt. Family life ended with the fact that Kasia filed for divorce and moved to the Spanish Marbella, changing her last name to Gallanio. She actually fled with her daughters from the luxurious Paris apartment of her ex-husband, but Prince Al Thani formalized the custody of the girls, and they were forced to return to Paris to their father. According to French media, whenever the children tried to visit their mother, the prince forced them to sleep in servants' rooms until they repented. Apparently, the financial conditions of the divorce turned out to be quite comfortable for Kasia. In Spain, she lived in luxury, quickly became a party queen and socialite. She was friends with the stars, went to the wedding of Sofia Vergara, and even became a member of the board of the French soccer club Martigues. Despite the outward gloss and prosperity, Kasia Gallanio suffered a lot. She missed her daughters, who after the divorce remained with their father in France. Kasia could meet with the girls only in the presence of her ex-husband. Gallanio filed a lawsuit. She wanted to get custody of the children. At the same time, the woman tried to appease her ex-husband through social networks. She dedicated touching posts to Abdel Aziz and her daughters. For example, she wrote, "When I see this smile, I see the faces of my beautiful daughters." But the prince was adamant. The girls lived with him in Paris and contact with their mother maintained only under his control. In endless courts, the former spouses exchanged mutual accusations. Abdel Aziz even stated that Kasia allegedly has an addiction to alcohol, as well as mental health problems. That was one of his arguments in the custody determination. But in 2021, older daughters Yasmin and Malak announced they wanted to live with their mom and left for Marbella. Their father was outraged. In a fit of rage, he disowned the twins and stopped paying their bills. Only the youngest daughter, Reem, was left on the prince's support. The young princess still lives with him in a Paris apartment, and since 2021 she was forbidden to see her mother and sisters. They could only correspond and talk on the phone. The girl is completely isolated from the outside world. She does not even attend school. In April 2022, former Princess Kasia learned a secret from her daughter that shocked her. One of the twins had been molested by her father for 6 years, between the ages of 9 and 15. According to her, after her parents divorced, he forced the girl to sleep in the same bed with him. This information was announced at the regular session of the court in Paris. Abdel Aziz, of course, denied everything. The police have launched an investigation. Kasia also gave an in-depth interview to a women's video channel and told the shocking story. She said, "I was absolutely devastated after my daughter claimed in court that her father had touched her inappropriately. This is every mother's nightmare." After the interview, Kasia started receiving many messages on social networks from women who had experienced similar situations. She wanted to create a space where women could get counseling and help in their time of need. But another blow of fate awaited her. A month later, a Paris court dismissed the sexual assault claims the princess had brought against her ex-husband. This led to an exacerbation of her nervous breakdowns. That's when the tragic event that is still haunting Kasia's family and friends took place. Her youngest daughter sounded the alarm when her mother stopped contacting her. She did not answer or return her calls. The girl then called the Spanish police. The house manager said that recently Kasia looked very sad and had not left the apartment for several days. Police officers broke down the door and found Kasia's lifeless body in her bed, with no signs of struggle or violence. She was only 45 years old. Where the older twins were and why they did not sound the alarm is not reported, but it is known that they were the ones who identified their mother. An autopsy revealed it was a cardiac arrest, but local media reported an overdose of antidepressants and alcohol, as several empty bottles and medications were found in a neighboring room. However, the woman's relatives have a completely different opinion. They are convinced that Kasia's death was arranged by her ex-husband, billionaire Abdel Aziz. For whatever reason the former princess lost her life, one thing is clear. Her battle is lost, and the fate of the girls is now entirely in the hands of their father, who is now 74 years old. A few weeks before her death, Kasia wrote her daughters a touching message on Instagram that will forever be remembered by the girls. "My darlings, never forget that I love you so much. Life is filled with hard times and good times. If at certain moments you feel overwhelmed, don't forget who you are, straighten up your crown and be brave. Learn from everything you can and be the incredible, inspiring, powerful, and compassionate women I know you can be. Love, Mommy." This is such a Cinderella story with a sad ending. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to give us a like. See you all again.